This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
"6:45 a.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj and read by Mario Vijayawardena. The headlines. Minister Kehelia Rabukwala says media moguls must respect the country's laws. Another 2 million doses of the Sinopharm vaccines arrive in Sri Lanka. The daily coronavirus cases count moved to 1,507 yesterday. 1,598 more recover from the coronavirus yesterday. The Express Pearl Fire Fisher communities compensated from today. Another 2,000 new houses will be constructed under the Mihindu Sevana housing project. In news overseas, Virgin Galactic Sir Richard Branson rockets to the edge of space. In sports, England lose shootout in Euro 2020 final. Italy fans ecstatic after England defeated in Wembley final. Co-cabinet spokesman Kehelia Rabukwala stated yesterday that media moguls cannot be allowed to step out of the country's legal framework and abuse media freedom. Minister Rabukwala added that he will not hesitate to take legal action against such persons under the existing legal framework as the media minister. The minister stressed that no one can expect irresponsible freedom of the wild for the media. Quote, "There should be no confusion between freedom and law and order, and therefore everything must function within the legal framework," unquote, he asserted. Minister Rabukwala also stated that the government had not taken a decision to suspend the broadcasting license of any private media institution. Quote, "Suspending licenses of media institutions is a false story. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa has spoken regarding this in Parliament. While I was unavailable, I was not given prior notice in this regard, and also it is said that I brought in lawyers secretly. I did not bring lawyers secretly, but I met them in the open. If a certain media institution is acting surpassing the legal boundaries, we will take action within the available legal framework," unquote, he said. Quote, "If any TV or radio channel or newspaper deviates from the legal framework, the government has a responsibility to uphold the rule of law. Media freedom must be subject to the basic framework of the country. There will be no hesitation for taking appropriate action within the legal framework. As the media minister, I am responsible for investigating any wrongdoing within the legal framework," unquote, he added. Earlier, opposition leader Premadasa alleged in Parliament that the government was making moves to revoke the broadcasting license of a certain private media institution which had apparently telecast news items unfavourable to the government and its leaders. Another 2 million doses of the China-manufactured Sinopharm medicines arrived in Sri Lanka yesterday. The consignment arrived on 2 Sri Lankan Airlines charter flights at the Bandaranaike International Airport. From the 2 new stocks of the vaccine, 100,000 doses are allocated to Gaul, Matara, Hambantota, Anuradhapura, Nuwara Eliya, Ratnapura, Badulla and the Matale districts each, and 200,000 doses are allocated to Colombo and Kurunegala districts each, while 300,000 and 500,000 doses are allocated to the Kalutara and Gampaha districts respectively. Meanwhile, the Army Commander General Shavendra Silva told the media that another 2 million of the Sinopharm vaccines is due to be received within the month of July. In addition, another 1.4 million doses of the AstraZeneca vaccines will arrive within the 3rd week of July, while another stock of Sputnik V will too arrive within the month. Sri Lanka has received a total of 6.57 million COVID-19 vaccine doses so far, the Army Chief said. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
People's Bank, celebrating 60 years of empowering the nation.
A total of 521 more people tested positive for COVID-19 yesterday, raising the daily count of positive cases to 1,507. According to the Government Information Department, 1,492 of the new cases reported yesterday have been associated with the New Year cluster, which has recorded a total of 266,643 virus infections since mid-April this year. The remaining 15 were identified as arrivals from foreign countries who are currently under quarantine. The new development has brought Sri Lanka's confirmed coronavirus cases tally to 274,538. The epidemiology unit's data showed that as many as 244,438 patients who were infected with the virus have regained health so far. Meanwhile, the death toll now stands at 3,502. More than 26,000 are currently under medical care at selected hospitals and treatment centres across the country. The payment of compensation to the fishermen who lost their means of income due to the fire on the Express Pearl cargo vessel will commence today. This is the amount of interim compensation requested by the government before the total compensation is received by the fishermen due to the shipwreck. Accordingly, 420 million rupees is to be distributed to 16,000 fishermen, the State Minister of Fisheries Kanchana Wijesekara said. He further stated that the compensation money will be deposited into the bank account and not distributed as cheques. The money will be credited within this week, and those who do not receive it will be able to file their appeals in this regard next week, the State Minister said. The Ministry of Health says that another 1,598 patients who were being treated for COVID-19 have been discharged after completing their recovery yesterday. This increases the country's coronavirus recoveries to 244,438. Sri Lanka has thus far confirmed a total of 274,538 positive cases of COVID-19, while 26,000 patients infected with the virus are currently under medical care. The death toll due to the virus currently stands at 3,502. The welcome ceremony for the Sri Pali campus batch of 2019-2020 academic year students will be held this morning at 9 a.m. under the patronage of the Vice-Chancellor Professor Chandrika N. Vijayaratne. The rector of the campus, Senior Attorney at Law Pradeepa Mahanamaheba, says the ceremony was postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic situation. However, a situation has arisen for the students to experience this reception. All arrangements are made to conduct this ceremony in a simple way, but following the strict health guidelines, he added. That's local news.
Towards a new dimension in innovation, People's Bank, celebrating 60 years of empowering the nation.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Another 2,000 new houses will be constructed under the Mihindu Sevana housing project. The project commenced in the Kurunagala district and now it has been extended to the other districts including Badulla, Polonnaruwa and Anuradhapura. A sum of 1,200 million rupees has been allocated for this purpose.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
And now in Watchlight, the health officials request the public to follow the health guidelines during this period. Although the travel restrictions are relaxed, the interprovincial travel restrictions will be enforced without any change. The public is requested to follow the special guidelines released by the Health Ministry to control the third wave of the coronavirus outbreak. The health officials warn that further travel restrictions will be determined in the future based on the behavior of the general public. That came to you in Watchlight, and now in World News headlines. Virgin Galactic Sir Richard Branson rockets to the edge of space. Cubans stage rare protests over COVID measures. COVID-19 Prime Minister urges caution as 19th July unlocking set to go ahead. Billionaire Sir Richard Branson has successfully reached the edge of space on board his Virgin Galactic rocket plane. The UK entrepreneur flew high above New Mexico in the US in the vehicle that his company has been developing for 17 years. The trip was, he said, the experience of a lifetime. He returned safely to Earth just over an hour after leaving the ground. The whole thing was just magical, he added. The trip also makes him the first of the new space tourism pioneers to try out their own vehicles, beating Amazon's Jeff Bezos and SpaceX's Elon Musk. Thousands of people have joined protests against Cuba's communist government in the capital Havana and several other cities. Videos posted on social media show people calling for freedom, democracy and demanding vaccines to tackle the coronavirus pandemic. The demonstrations, which are rare in Cuba, come as the country reports a record number of COVID infections. President Miguel Diaz-Canel blamed the United States for the unrest. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson is expected to confirm later the plan to lift almost all legal restrictions on social contact in England on the 19th of July. But ahead of news conference on Monday afternoon, Mr Johnson has urged the people to be cautious. Quote, "We must all take responsibility so we don't undo our progress, ensuring we continue to protect our NHS," unquote, he said. He warns that COVID-19 cases, currently at about 30,000 a day, would continue to rise as society reopened. And now the main points of the World News segment once again. Virgin Galactic Sir Richard Branson rockets to the edge of space. Cubans stage rare protests over COVID measures. COVID-19 Prime Minister urges caution as 19th of July unlocking set to go ahead. That was World News.
Development News is brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melva RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melva RB500, #1 in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
A program is underway to collect information with regard to the requirement of organic and natural fertilizers for the tea cultivators. The survey is being done in the districts where high volumes of tea cultivation is conducted. Accordingly, the survey is conducted in 8 districts. The main objective of this exercise is to produce organic fertilizers based on the requirement.
Development News was brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melva RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melva RB500, #1 in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
And now in sports news, in soccer, England's bid to end their 55-year wait for a major trophy ended in the familiar agony of defeat in a penalty shootout as Italy claimed the Euro 2020 crown at Wembley. On a night of anticipation, tension and ultimate heartbreak in a feverish atmosphere, England looked on course for their most joyous day since the 30th of July 1966, when Luke Shaw gave them the perfect start after 2 minutes. Italy, unbeaten in 33 matches before this final, slowly edged their way back into the game and were level in the 67th minute when Leonardo Bonucci pounced after England goalkeeper Jordan Pickford turned Marco Verratti's header onto a post. There have been scenes of jubilation across Italy after their football team defeated England 3-2 on penalties in the Euro 2020 final in London. At a fan zone in Rome, thousands of fans started jumping in pure elation, shouting and hugging each other. The victory at Wembley Stadium brought Italy its first major European title since 1968. England remain without a major trophy since 1966 when they beat West Germany in the World Cup final 4-2. That was Sports News.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Top Korean car maker Kia's bold new logo is grabbing attention in Sri Lanka as the brand's local distributor begins its rollout across multiple touchpoints as part of a phased adoption of the new brand persona unveiled internationally earlier this year. The new corporate logo, resembling a handwritten signature, is accompanied by the brand's slogan, "Movement that inspires," and announces at automobile manufacturers' bold transformation and all-new brand purpose. The introduction of the new logo represents Kia's ambitions to establish a leadership position in the future mobility industry by revamping nearly all facets of its business.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Reputed for its coconut plantation business yielding around 15 million nuts per year, Kurunagala Plantations Limited KPL, a fully owned government company, is also well known for its intercrops. Currently operating under the coconut, Kisul and Palmyra cultivation promotion and related industrial product manufacturing and export diversification ministry, KPL recently gathered a bumper harvest of turmeric, earning a profit of 11 million LKR.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
The Met Department says showers of thundershowers will occur at times in the western, central, Sabaragamuwa, northwestern and southern provinces. Heavy showers above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in the western and Sabaragamuwa provinces and in the Kandy, Nuwara Eliya, Gala and Mathura districts. A few showers will occur at the north-central province. Showers of thundershowers may occur at a few places in the eastern and Uva provinces during the evening or night. Strong gusty winds up to 60 kilometers per hour are likely at times over the western slopes of the central hills, and gusty winds up to 50 kilometers per hour at times are likely in the northern, north-central, northwestern and southern provinces, in the Trincomalee district and the western coastal areas. This weather report was issued at 7:30. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. Meanwhile, the international weather forecast website AccuWeather.com predicts that Colombo's weather would be generally bright and during the day, but there will be cloudy weather in the afternoon. Today's daytime temperature would be around 30 degrees Celsius. There will light showers in many places in Colombo district in the night. Tonight's temperature will be around 28 degrees Celsius and there will be scattered showers in selected spots late in the night. The ground temperature would be 27 degrees Celsius at the time of this news broadcast. The Air Quality Index, AQI, is 19, which shows a fair condition in Colombo. The air quality is generally acceptable for most individuals.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. Minister Keheliya Rambukwella says the media moguls must respect the country's laws. Another 2 million doses of the Sinopharm vaccines arrive in Sri Lanka. The daily coronavirus cases count moved to 1,507 yesterday. 1,598 more recover from the coronavirus yesterday. The Express Pearl Fire Fisher communities compensated from today. Another 2,000 new houses will be constructed under the Mihindu 7 housing project. In news overseas, Virgin Galactic Sir Richard Branson rockets to the edge of space. In sports news, England lose shootout in Euro 2020 final. Italy fans ecstatic after England defeated in the Wembley final. That concludes this news broadcast.